G'day everyone. I remembered to turn my lamp on today. It's twice I've forgotten now. All right, let's do to do. So I'm actually starting off here in leads because we have a new sales lead. XYZ Mowers has heard about how good our ABC Mowers logo was, and they've got in contact with us and they want to find out if we can give them a quote. So we have the lead here, and I'm at the stage of proposal and demonstration. So I'm going to go out to the potential client and actually present them what we have to offer. Before I do that, I'm going to create a task to track everything that happens in that meeting. And I'm going to do that from the to-do list. So I currently have 2 tasks in my to-do list, but they're both done. They're from ABC Mowers. I'm going to create a new task. And the first thing you see when I hover over add task is there's a submenu that drops down. And this is different to say add lead or add quote or add project, where you just click on it and then you would add that item. Here, because tasks are linked to either leads, projects, or support tickets, we have to tell Simply Business what type of task we want to create. And I want to create a lead task. So I click on lead task. And now the first thing I have to enter is what lead it's for. And it's for XYZ Mowers. So that's the lead there. Now the task name is Meet with Jim. And I just want to show how easy it is. I'm going to select on-site, how easy it is to now create this task. I just go assign to me, need to get cracking, and it's going to be a 2-hour meeting today. And that's it. 3-4 clicks, and I've created the task. I don't have to necessarily use the drop-down list to find myself here because I've got assigned to me. I don't have to type in 2 hours for the time allocated because we have these handy time brackets here where I can just click the time length that I want. And I don't have to click the calendar icon to find today because we have a button that just says today. So if you're setting up a task for today for yourself and it's a short task, it's very easy to create it very quick. Now, one other thing I'm going to set for this particular task is that travel is required. And that gives me a few more options here where I can enter my odometer start and end. And so then Simply Business will automatically calculate how many kilometers or miles I did for that meeting, which I can claim on tax. And then I can specify the travel date, which again is today. So I'm going to say my odometer is, 60,000 to start with. I'll enter that when I get back. Now this doesn't need to be visible at Simply Business, and I don't need to put a description in. And so I just click done. And what we see now is I have that task here in Need to Get Cracking. So I haven't actually started working on it yet. It's just in my to-do list, but it is allocated with a due date, which means it's not just sitting in get to it at some point. I actually know I need to work on it this week. And that's also why it's showing in the to-do list. Any tasks that aren't set to be due this week won't appear in this list unless they're in Get to It at some point. So you can always pull a task out of Get to It at some point and work on it this week. But if tasks are set in the future, they won't appear here. This is really for the things I need to work on today, but I can also see ahead this week what other things I have to do. And so now I'm ready to head out and meet with Jim. So I'm just going to drag this task into working on it. And a few things happen here. Now what you'll see is there's a time bar. And what Simply Business is doing is, because I've dragged it into working on it, Simply Business has started tracking the amount of time that I'm spending on this task automatically. So I don't need to go into my timesheet later and think, oh, how long did I spend with Jim? Was it like 2.5 hours? I don't need to worry about that. Because I've started working on it, Simply Business has started recording time. The system will stop recording time as soon as I move this out of the working on it column. So if I move it into just taking a break. Now there's 2 options here. I've either stopped working on this task because I'm just taking a break, so I'm working on something else, or I've gone to lunch or something like that, or because I'm stuck and I need help. So there's a couple of reasons why you might get stuck on a task. One might be that you, for some reason, just can't complete it. It might be a technical issue and you just need a little bit of help from someone else. And another reason might be that because you're relying on someone else. So if this task was, say, actually working on the logo, and maybe you'd started working on it and then you'd asked Jim for their colors and Jim hadn't provided it yet. So it's not on you, it's really on him to provide the colors so you can continue. And in that case, you're stuck. So we'll just say I'm just taking a break, and we'll see now that that has moved into the taking a break / need help column, and no more time has been recorded on this. If I drag it back into working on it, more time starts getting recorded. And then if I move it out again, the time will stop, but then I need to say why. And in this case, I'm going to say I'm stuck. So now it's red because I'm stuck. Go back into working on it, go here, just taking a break. It's purple because I'm just taking a break. Okay, so I head out to Jim's office, I meet with him, I discuss what we're going to provide for him in terms of a logo, and he's all happy, and I come back to the office. And when I do, the task is still sitting in working on it, and this task is now done, so I can move it into done. And I can also just quickly double click on it and now set my odometer end, so I can say 60,100 kilometers, and now the 100 kilometers is recorded against that task. Okay, great news. So Jim wants to go ahead with the logo. He was happy with the presentation. I've sent him the quote. He's accepted the quote and I've created a project. That project is now in the planning phase. So I'm just going to open it up. I'm going to go into the tasks and see that the tasks from the quote have been created. And I'm going to have a look at the first draft one. And I'm going to say that this is a admin. Actually, this is a design task. I'm going to create a new group, design task. Yep, I want a new group. I'm going to assign it to me. I'm going to need to get cracking. It's a fixed fee of $200 because that came from the quote, which is going to take me 2 hours and it is due on Friday. So now I can hit done and I can go to do and have a look and see that the task is not here. And that's because I set myself to work on it next week. And so it's not appearing in here. So I need to go back to stages and I can see now that there's one task for me here. I'll open up this project, go to tasks, actually set to work on that this week. So let's just work on it today. All right, done. So now when we go to do, we will see that the task is here that need to get cracking. And I also have a bit more information in here when I click the information icon and it tells me it's the first draft. Not very helpful information, but if I had a full brief here about what I need to do in this task, I could look at it there. And so I'm going to start working on this draft. Okay, I've been working furiously for 5 minutes and I've finished the first draft of the logo. That's how good at logo design I am. And so I'm just going to go and move this into done. And now I can just click on the next task for me to do, which is final logo, and start working on it. But hang on, that doesn't make sense. Where did the second draft of the logo go? Well, I didn't actually assign that to myself. I assigned that to another guy, but I did put myself on the team to work on it. And so that's why we have this option at the top here, which is my primary tasks. That's all the tasks that are directly assigned to me to work on. And my team tasks, where I've been assigned to the team to work on that task, although I'm not the primary person. And so here I can see now the second draft of the logo is there for me to get working on. But if I just click on my primary tasks, then that doesn't show up. But we'll just skip over that and just say I'm going to work on the final design, and then I'm going to actually stop because it's 5 o'clock on a Friday and I've had enough and I'm going home. I'll deal with that next week. I'm just taking a break. And so that's how you use the To-Do app in Simply Business. It's actually where I spend most of my time in Simply Business, moving tasks from need to get cracking into working on it, taking a break, or done. It's actually kind of like a digital sticky note board where instead of having your desk covered in sticky notes, they're in Simply Business, easy to track, easy to move around and not lose track of what you're doing, what you need to work on, and getting things done.